Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome again to the ADM Agriculture YouTube channel. I'm joined this week by my colleague Freddie Humfrey, our national wheat trader. Freddie, an interesting week in the markets.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. It's been a busy one, to be honest. So we've got Chicago wheat futures up about $9.50 a ton, the equivalent of about £7 a ton this week, mainly being driven by the extreme cold weather that we've seen in the US, pushing as far south as Texas and bringing in some winter kill concerns over there. On top of that, the back end of last week, we saw the USDA Outlook Conference, where they forecast the corn and soybean 2021 plantings up quite significantly, and also wheat, but it still leaves the S&D pretty tight. But it's not just been about global numbers this week. What's been going on with the AHDB in the UK, Jonathan? Some interesting numbers there.
Yeah, for sure, Freddie. I mean, we've had the latest and much awaited update from AHDB. They've now had to reflect the reduced crop size from DEFRA in the old crop balance sheet. A reduction of nearly 500,000 tonnes from the previous initial number. They've also cut the animal feed figure to make it fit, so cut to below 6 million tonnes, which is pretty significant. The import figure of 2.1 million tonnes looks perhaps more realistic now. We know we've imported around 1.4 million tonnes to the end of December, leaving, according to AHDB, 700,000 tonnes to go. And whilst there will be some inelastic demand for high quality wheat to come in that Jan-June period, still leaves a few question marks given the UK's current price parity versus the continent. And I think in some ways that's being reflected in the recent price moves that we've seen in the UK market. Certainly London wheat futures in May 21 have rallied in the last 10 days, not back to the highs in sterling terms, but certainly a significant rally. And really, I guess that's been held back by the move that we've seen in sterling euro. I mean, Freddie, what comments have you got on that?
Yeah, it's been a big move over the last couple of weeks. I mean, for those technical aficionados out there, there's a nice shooting star on that chart from yesterday, but we've effectively seen a big move higher, an appreciation of sterling versus euro. And when you add those two together, London wheat futures and sterling euro, it's actually quite interesting because when you look at that in a euro perspective, we're pretty close to the high on London wheat futures. So it has had a big effect, both in terms of limiting our sterling denominated values, but also in terms of our overall market position. So we've also seen a few bits of demand in the UK picture as well. Jonathan, do you want to just comment on a few bits of those?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the last week or 10 days, we've seen announcements from customers such as Sedamill increasing production from 2022. An announcement from ABN increasing their milling capacity in the UK, and a new animal feed mill potentially in East Anglia. And now with government changing inclusion structures for ethanol, the likelihood of the reopening of Vivergo again from 2022. So UK domestic demand looks like from 2022 onwards, it'll certainly be ramping up, which has got to be great news for farmers in the longer term in the UK.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. Some interesting news.
Absolutely. Great. Okay, Freddie. Well, thanks for the quick summary. Hopefully you found that interesting. If you want any more details, please speak to your ADM Agriculture Farm Trader, or alternatively, get in touch with us on the details at the end of this video. Thanks a lot.